Good afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Frank Gaetano here from the Hail Palace for your daily hail and wind forecast. As always, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, and Atlas Roofing. Make sure you check those guys out. Their Facebook pages are linked in the description to this video. We have a possibility to see some front range magic today in Denver. Conditions aren't amazing for it, but there's a chance. So if you're in Denver, get excited, maybe there's a chance. So we'll talk about that in a second. And then kind of a copy-paste risk. I mean, it's been kind of the same thing for the last few days with that heat dome in place. So copy-paste risk for tomorrow, another broad area. And then we'll have to take a look at the end to see if there's any relief for that heat here in the central part of the country at the beginning of next week. So we'll take a look at that and the jet stream at the end of the video. As always, upcoming events, we still have the Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Expo on July 19th through the 22nd. That's going to be down in Daytona, Florida. If you want more information on that, you can go to floridaroof.com and you can get all the information you need for the Florida Roofing and Sheet Metal Expo. Again, July 19th through the 22nd in Daytona. Take a look at yesterday's storm reports. We had quite a bit of wind activity yesterday. We had a very strong complex, a derecho that pushed through the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area. We'll take a look at that. Look at all these wind reports. We had winds almost up to 100 miles an hour with portions of that line that moved through the area, and that was extended all the way down through Iowa and into Illinois yesterday. And then we had a lot more wind also along the East Coast here, so a lot of scattered wind reports out here. We also ended up with about 5 tornado reports yesterday, a couple of tornadoes here along the East Coast, one near Baltimore, and then one on the Virginia coast. And where does that bring us for the year? So yesterday, I mentioned we had 5 tornado reports, 38 large hail reports yesterday, and 312 high wind reports. So where does that put us for the year? We're one away from 1,000 tornado reports for this year, 4,900 hail reports, and a whopping 13,000 wind reports. It's been a crazy year for severe winds. Compared to last year, if we take a look at it, we were at 776 at this point last year for tornado reports, just under 3,700 for hail reports, and only 8,200 high wind reports. So the wind is definitely ramped up this year as far as severe wind reports come in from these storms. So 13,000, that's quite a lot of wind. Taking a look across the country, not amazing conditions for the central portions going across the central part of the country. Some complexes moving through. We have one going through Ohio right now. We could take a look at that. We have a severe thunderstorm watch for wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour associated with this activity. It's going to be moving southeastward throughout the day. And then we'll come over to our risk area for Denver. We do see some clearing in Denver, so that's kind of what we want to see right now. It was cloudy earlier on, and we have been seeing gradual clearing in the air. So if we want a shot at Denver getting hit today, as those storms roll off the front range, we're going to want the prime conditions for any storms to go up and really get going over the Denver Metroplex. Current temperatures across the country, looking at 90s down here in the south. We're going to get up into the 80s here in the northern plains, possibly the low 90s. We're again going to be in the hundreds here in the southern plains. So hot. That heat dome is still in place. We're going to get to about 80 in Denver before those storms start rolling off the front range. So we'll take a look, see if that can actually happen for Denver. It's been a while since Denver's been in the risk. You guys have been asking for it. So let's see if we can make it happen today. Good moisture across the southeast and into the central part of the country. 60s dew points across the central, and then like really high 70s across the southeast. So it's very oppressive as far as the moisture content goes for a good portion of the country across the eastern sections of the country. All right, so our future radar for today, we're going to start in the Montana area. This is where the highest probability risk is going to be as we see storms forming around Great Falls and Billings this afternoon. Those are going to be working their way northeastward throughout the afternoon and into the evening, and then banding up into a complex that's going to be producing some severe winds later this evening, and then weakening into the overnight hours as we do lose some of that instability from the daytime heating. Now we're going to take a look at our most interesting risk area, which is Denver. So this is right now, and we see storms starting to form around 2, 3 o'clock in the Front Range, and that's typical time of day when we do have these risks. So it's around 2 or 3 o'clock that those storms form and then roll off the Front Range, and then they continue to form into the evening hours. So we're going to have a couple of shots anywhere between 2 p.m. to about 8 p.m. for Denver to see a storm roll off the Front Range and try to get going over the city. And then later tonight, this is around 1 a.m., we're going to see a complex of thunderstorms start to form in southern Nebraska. So Omaha, you do have a risk for possibility of hail or wind with this complex that forms later this evening and overnight. As we let this run through to tomorrow morning, this is a lot bigger than it was showing earlier, so hopefully they can stay kind of isolated, see if we can get some hail in Omaha. This does not scream large hail to me, the latest run of this model, so hopefully they'll kind of dial it back and we'll see more isolated activity later tonight. And then working our way to the east, we're going to be seeing a lot of pop-up thunderstorms. It's the same thing we've been seeing for several days, pop-up thunderstorms anywhere from Kentucky down through the southeast and the mid-Atlantic. Let this run through as we go through the evening hours, more pop-up thunderstorms, and then the complex starts to form and work its way southeastward before weakening tonight with the loss of daytime heating and instability as it continues to move towards the East Coast into tomorrow morning. So what's that look like graphically for us? Like I mentioned, it's a pretty broad risk today. Hail up to tennis ball size is going to be possible in Montana and the northern sections of Wyoming. Golf ball size going through the Central Plains with any of that late night activity that forms in southern Nebraska. And then hail up to $half size is going to be possible in Denver. So we have moderate risk for Billings, Rapid City, and Denver. I'd say Denver has probably a 15 to 20% chance of one of those storms producing large hail up to $half size today. And then lower end risk as we can move over to North Platte and Omaha and work our way east. Pretty low risk across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. So Peoria, Indianapolis, Louisville, Columbus, Ohio, you have pretty low end risk. Those storms are already getting through Columbus, so you may have no risk here in a little while. Knoxville, we did see some potential for storms popping up over the Knoxville area, so pretty low chance for you guys and low chance across the board for large hail up to $half size for Charlotte, Virginia Beach, and the DC, Baltimore area. So we'll take a look at the wind now, and it's pretty similar risk, broad across the country. Do have possibility for significant winds in excess of 75 miles per hour for that area of Montana, of Billings, Great Falls, up towards Glasgow. So moderate risk for those significant winds. Also a moderate risk for Rapid City. A little bit lower end risk for Denver for winds. I'd say the winds are probably going to be more towards the north of you guys if those storms roll off, but let's see if we can get that hail. North Platte, low end risk. Omaha, low end risk. Low end risk for Springfield and going through Indianapolis, Columbus. And then we did see a little bit higher concentration of thunderstorm clusters forming on that radar, forecast radar for Louisville, Charleston, and Roanoke. So I put you guys in the moderate risk, same thing for you, Raleigh. And then as you work north, the risk lessens. So Richmond and DC are back down to a pretty marginal risk for those wind gusts, 60 to 70 miles per hour with any of those storms. Here's our radar, looking at the radar for tomorrow. Pretty similar risk. We see storms forming near Great Falls and Billings, and they're going to be working their way northeastward. Storms down in Wyoming, working their way towards Rapid City. In Denver, you again are going to have a shot at some storms tomorrow afternoon. So we'll see those popping up in the afternoon again, rolling off the Front Range between 2 and 4 to maybe 6 p.m. time frame. Omaha, you are going to earn the risk tomorrow. And I think Kansas City, the storms are probably going to be just to the east of you, but I did include you in the risk because any isolated storm that forms over Kansas City could see hail up to $half size tomorrow. And we'll let this run through into the morning hours. See, this is the latest run of this model, and this is actually showing those storms forming closer to Kansas City now. So if that trend continues, we could be bumping up those chances for Kansas City to see large hail or strong winds tomorrow as we let this run through to the early morning hours as those storms weaken with the loss of daytime heating. We're going to work our way to the east now. And similar risk, going to be seeing pop-up thunderstorms pretty much all across the east into the mid-Atlantic states, down to the southeast. So Nashville's got a shot, Knoxville's got a shot again, all the way down to Atlanta and northeastern sections of Alabama having a shot at hail and wind tomorrow with those pulsing thunderstorms that pop up in the afternoon and evening hours. And it's going to work its way off the coast later on into the overnight hours, and we'll see some weak activity in the late overnight hours going into the morning hours on Friday. I don't expect any of this to be severe. So we're going to take a look at the hail forecast for tomorrow. A little bit of a weird looking one for tomorrow. As we don't extend the hail all the way to the East Coast, I feel like these are going to be mostly sub-severe tomorrow in terms of hail. The atmosphere is not going to be primed for large hail, so I cut that off here in Illinois. We'll zoom in to the main risk area. Montana, you got Great Falls and Glasgow, probably the best shot of seeing hail up to golf ball size tomorrow. Billings, pretty low-end chances. Rapid City, low-end chances as well. And we'll work our way south. Denver, you made it into the risk again tomorrow. So back-to-back days, possibility for hail up to $half size. And we'll work our way eastward. Kansas City, you're in the risk tomorrow. Des Moines, you're right at the very northern edge of the risk. And then St. Louis hasn't been in the risk in a little while. You guys have a risk for $half size hail tomorrow as well. But going into the wind, it's going to be a little bit more of a broad risk. Same general risk area as the hail, but a little further to the east as well. So we'll take a look at some of the highlighted cities here. Still a moderate chance for wind for Great Falls and Glasgow. Still a low-end chance for Rapid City. Denver, low-end chance for wind as well. And we work our way east through Kansas, low-end chances, just because we may not actually get a storm to hit anywhere in this area. So we need those storms to actually pop up over the area to get those chances to go up to see that strong wind. St. Louis, you're back in the risk again. A moderate chance for Nashville, Roanoke, and Charlotte, and then low-end chances as we get closer to the coast for Wilmington, and then another low-end chance for storms for you tomorrow, Atlanta. Okay, so let's take a look at the pattern. Again, this looks very similar to how it looked yesterday. That heat dome is in place, and if we move this forward, it doesn't really move too much, but we do see some minor things, shortwave troughs moving through. So here we are on Friday. We do see a little shortwave trough that's going to bring the risk to the northern plains again on Friday, but that heat dome still sitting in place. And then we do see a little bit of troughing moving towards the east coast going into the beginning of next week. And I think that may bring some relief to the central plains as we see this trough dig down. We'll see a cold front potentially make it through the Oklahoma City area, so we could see temperatures not quite making it to the hundreds, maybe the upper 80s, up to 90 maybe for Oklahoma City area, which I will definitely welcome because it has been very hot here every single day. But unfortunately, if that doesn't happen, we are going to bump right back up to those hot temperatures again, pretty much immediately after that. But stay tuned. Make sure you check with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We are at HailTrace for all of those. And if you want to get directly in contact with us, 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com or just go straight to our website, www.hailtrace.com, for more info about who we are and how we can help you guys make money. But until then, I'm meteorologist Frank Gaetano. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday.